All right, hello Nathan. So for this video lesson, we're going to go over a few things we've been doing in class. We're going to try to get that feel groove a little bit faster so we can play the entirety of Fuel at 100% speed. To start off, let's get the snare mid-tempo, mid-power. We'll keep it nice and relaxed. Try not to speed it up at all. Start moving it around the kit. Go back and forth between the toms and the snare. Mix and match your hands, so instead of just going right, left on the same tom or snare, you can go like right, left on the snare to a tom, and then right, left on the tom to a snare. And also with the cymbal. All that is just right, left, right, left. So that's just a constant right, left. Right is going from the ride to the low tom. All right, after that, so just remember the yellow from Coldplay, the intro groove, just a quick recap. You do that 4 times. Here's kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare 4 times. And then when you get to the close hi-hat part, you start with the crash, double kicks here, to an open. You'd repeat that 9 times. Then it's the build-up. Chorus. Times, back to the intro groove 4 times, and then you do the double kick. Now it's only 6 times, so 6 of those, and he only says yellow twice. The first time when you repeat it 9 times, he says yellow 3 times. After that, the build up, and then back to the chorus. After the chorus, you remember the intro groove, you do that 4 times, and then the outro groove, which is different than what you've done throughout the song, because this time it's kick, and then kick, 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 kick. Kick, 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 kick. And then you do that 6 times, and at the very end, this ending crash. Okay, so now for Fuel, what we have here, so that intro groove, so remember all it is, and the hardest part for you right now is just that kick, hi-hat kick. So we got that to about 85% speed last time. So just get those kicks. Kick, cymbal, kick. And I'll start it slow and start getting up to speed a little bit. So I'll start with that line. I'll just go crash kick into the hi-hat and the snare. So like this. A little bit faster. Now a little bit faster. All right, so now let's try it to get that just a tiny bit faster. Hopefully you were able to keep up with those last few tempos. So now let's speed it up just a little bit more, and then that's really close to 100% speed. So I'll start back where we were just at. So now a little bit faster. Now a little bit faster, coming up. So hopefully you're able to keep up with that one. And then that's about tempo right there. Maybe just a tiny bit faster. So that's about the speed right there. So if you can get that, then you're ready for the next part. And just a recap of the rest of that first part. And what we can do, we can divide Fuel into 4 different parts. So we've been going over the first part, which is from the intro all the way until the so that part, we'll count that from the intro to that as the first part. After the tom groove, that's what we'll call that part, which is this part on the tab. I'll zoom in a little bit, but just so you can see more of the tab. So this part right here, when it looks like that, that's the low tom groove. So from 0 seconds all the way to about 112, that's all part 1. Part 2 starts at 112 to the next low tom groove, which is about 226. So now from 226 until 411-ish, right around here, that's part 3. And then part 4 is this last little bit right here, which is just the grooves that we've been doing since the beginning. So that's part 4. So that's how we'll divide this. And we've been going over part 1. So it's that intro groove after you catch the hi-hat, or the crash, I mean, and then you go to the hi-hat. And right before you get to that slow part, you have this, which is right hand hi-hat, and then left, right, left on the snare. Get some cool things with that. Then after that slow part, you go back to that intro groove. And if you remember the pattern that I told you last time on this one, this first one, it's 3 crashes and then 2 double snares. 2 double snares. So 3 crashes. So, and then after that, oh, and then we'll just recap that groove. You got it last time, but just a quick recap of that one while we're here. Still on that one. So it's the kick, hi-hat, kick. So it's a kick and then hi-hat with the snare and then a kick. So kind of like in the intro that you were having trouble with at the faster tempo with the kick, hi-hat, kick. This one, it's kick, hi-hat, snare, kick. But it's a lot slower and way easier to do. So kick with the crash to start it off, and then hi-hat to kick, and then snare with the snare with the hi-hat, and then kick. And then you just repeat that again. Okay. And that's just that measure right here. And then that second measure. So it's the crash with the kick to hi-hat kick. 2 snares with the hi-hat. So we're right there for right now. So crash with the kick, hi-hat, kick, hi-hat with the snare twice. Next one is a kick, and then hi-hat, kick. After that second kick right there, 2 more snares, and then a kick at the very end. After that, we get to the same measure that we did right here. Okay, so we have the kick and then snare with the hi-hat kick. After that, you do a 1, 2, 3, 4, crash with the kick, hi-hat, hi-hat with the snare, hi-hat. Oh. 2 snares to a high tom, to snare, snare, low tom. Back to the... And now we have 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to that intro groove right here on that measure. This next measure, or next 2 measures I should say, you do 2 crashes to 3 double snares. So you see that? So 2 crashes, 3 double snares. So 1, 2. And you see all those alternating kicks in the hi-hat. It's just kick, hi-hat, kick, double snare. So on this first part, just remember it does the 3 crashes to 2 double snares, and then 2 crashes, 3 double snares. After the 3 double snares there, then you go into this crazy hi-hat snare fill right here. You go right, left, hi-hat, right, left. Then you go right snare, left, right, left on the hi-hat. And then you just repeat that. After that, we get the slow slow 3, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. And then you just get a tiny piece of that intro quick groove right there. So just 2 snares. And just remember kick, hi-hat, kick. And then we get into the tom groove intro fill. So the tom groove, remember it's the... And every time you go into that tom groove, you do this intro fill right here. If you remember, 4 fast ones, 2 slow ones, to 1 snare. After that snare, left, right, left on the high tom, or 3 times, so... After that left, right, left, then it's 2 snare, 2 high toms, 2 snare, 2 high toms, 2 snare, 2 high toms, middle, low. And then you go into the groove fill. So... make sure you got that going on. And the kicks is just constant right, left, right, left. And then that's the end of part 1 right there. Part 2, instead of the double snares, it'll do the snare to hi-hat, so it'll just do that thing a couple times. There's the main different fill on this part 2 right here is this one right here, where you go snare, quick 5, high tom, quick 5, middle tom, quick 5, and then you do the snare 2, high 2, middle 2. After, so 5, 5, 5, and then 2, 2, 2. And you can hear that at 155, so around there. That's whenever that fill, which is right here, snare, high, middle, snare, high, middle. That's where that happens. And then right after that, okay, right here, then it goes back to the slow. Back into that, and then the groove, the tom groove right there, and that's the end of part 2 right there. So just for this one, just focus on up to that first tom groove and get that intro groove right here. Up to speed. So if you just practice kick, hi-hat, kick. Get that up to speed. And then you can add the hi-hat and the snare before and after. And then all you need for that one to finish that groove off is just at the very beginning, kick with the crash, and then every other time, it's just hi-hat with the crash, or hi-hat with the kick. You see that kick with the hi-hat? right, so just get that, listen to that part one of that song. So from the intro all the way to 1 minute and 12 seconds, just get that in your head and all down. And then we can get with part two. And then part three, way down here, that's the easiest one because that's the slow groove. And that one's really fun to play. So yeah, we'll focus on part one and part two because those are the hardest. And then after that, the rest of the song, it's pretty easy. So have fun working on that groove and see you next week.